And I'm gonna hit mute. I'm gonna hit mute all, Gina, just to mute everyone, and then just unmute yourself.
Unmute. Thank you so much. All righty. Well, welcome everybody to August camp meeting. And my screen is about to just pop up. It's loading. So August camp 2025, the Olympic Peninsula. Can I just have a couple of thumbs up if you can see my screen just to confirm? Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. So glad you're here, everybody. This is the only shot that I've put in for tonight's show that's actually of the Olympic Peninsula. I have lots of, I decided that one of the best ways to get to know August Camp, if you don't know it already, is to take a look at some of the pictures. So glad you're here. Before we start, Janine has muted you, I believe, but we will keep the chat open so you can post questions and we'll answer them in real time as much as we can. Anybody who's on the camp committee can answer them, or who has an answer can answer for us. All righty, so things to know about August Camp. Since there are people who have never been before, August Camp is one of the oldest. I think it is the oldest of all of the AMC camps, whether they're fixed camps or at any kind of adventure travel. It's a volunteer-run group, and it's just a group of people who like to be outside. Some of us prefer to be outside. We are a pop-up group. We pop up every summer, and then we set up a tent village, and we hike, and we have a good time together, and then we disappear for another year. So that's basically how we operate. And when I say we arrive and we set up a tent village, what I really mean is all of us, we campers, we show up, and it's already been set up for us by our amazing crew, who we'll tell you a little bit about in just a minute. So, questions. I thought I'd start with some questions that I know people who are new might be interested in hearing. What can you expect at camp? Well, camp is somewhere between backpacking and glamping. It's kind of in the middle, and that's how somebody, a camper, has described it in the past. It's a step up from backpacking because you don't have to carry all of your food and equipment. That's all prepared for you. But it's not quite glamping because nobody's really doing all of your laundry and all that kind of stuff for you. We will have a number of links to the August Camp webpage. All of the information that we're sharing tonight is on the August Camp webpage. And if there's anything that I'm talking about too quickly or somebody else is talking about, you can go onto our webpage and find all of that info. So don't fear that we're going to zip through it without the opportunity for you to revisit it when and where you want to. So people ask, how is August Camp run and where does it come from? There's two groups that run August Camp. There are those of us who are the volunteers, and most of the people on the screen are volunteers. And we run the whole camper program. We put together the hikes, we organize the activities, we do the research for where we're going to go each year, and we run the program. Then we also have a staff of people who are our crew. We call them our crew. I think that's the name that came out of the Whites. I'm not quite sure, the White Mountains, but they're the people who are the crew are the people who run the physical setup of camp when we get to where we go. And so we'll tell you a little bit about both of those. So I'm one of the volunteers, and the other people that you're going to hear talk tonight are also volunteers. And we do it because we love camp. We've been coming a long time, some of us. I've been coming for, I think, close to 30 years now. I was introduced to it by a family member, and I've just been coming ever since. And August Camp people have become my kind of summer family, even though they change every year, which is kind of awesome. Made a lot of friends there over the years. Going to tell you a little bit about our crew. These fabulous faces are our crew members, some of them over the past years. Do note that some of them are dressed very warmly because August camp, even if it is the middle of summer, can get very cold in the mornings. But these are some of our fabulous crew members we've had over the year. They're a hardworking bunch of people who get together and do everything to make August camp happen. But where does August camp come from, you ask? Well, everything that makes up August camp, which includes all of the tents behind me now, wasn't that perfect to get those in my behind my head, all of the tents behind my head in my apartment here, come out of this gear trailer that's on the screen, this orange and white gear trailer. All winter long, fall, winter, spring, all of our stuff is stored in this gear trailer. And then our crew, this hardworking bunch of about 10 people, shows up about a week before camp starts, and they start unloading the truck. And everything that we have and use at August camp pretty much comes out of that truck, with the exception of the food. Uh, and it comes out every year, and we enjoy it for 4 weeks or so. And then it's all packed up again in the truck, and it's hauled off to our next location. So that's basically where August camp comes from. Um, these are some photos of our tents that we use. They're 2 people tents, and you can see inside there's cots. Every tent has a cot. On the right, you can see a lovely, beautifully decorated with the end of a day's detritus coming out of it. Water bottles and backpacks and boots and smelly socks and things thrown out in front. But everybody gets a tent. We have 2 people to a tent. If you don't come with a partner, or a tent mate that you want to tent with, then we give you one. Sometimes people meet someone on the plane or in the camp van coming to camp, and they decide, I would like to be tent mates with you. So they arrive at camp and they announce that, and we work on setting that up. So, but if you don't have a partner, we give you a tent partner, and then you get to enjoy the experience together. These tents are spacious, and we've been using the same tent since 1887 when camp started. Well, not exactly, but close to it. Something like that. They're wonderful tents. They're very sturdy. They'll keep you dry and warm, and they have plenty of room for your equipment. We also, at camp, we have this tent village, and then we also have a field kitchen. And you're looking at some photos of the field kitchen now, and you can see some crew members working. We have a fully operational kitchen with, let's see if I can just get some pictures, with all of the equipment we need to feed the 64 or so campers that come each week, and for multiple meals. We have very enthusiastic cooks and crew members, some of them with a lot of experience. You can see we've got these commercial grade ovens in the background, also come straight out of the gear truck. And in the background here, you can see with the largest of the white tents, the awnings, that's our field kitchen. So August Camp is made up of a tent village with a field kitchen, and then we populate it and have a great time. You'll also see some things that you'll see at camp. This is on the left is our water buffalo. So when we don't have an on-site source of water, the crew goes out and fills this daily, sometimes a couple times daily. So it's a source of clear, clean, potable water. On the right side, you'll see a refrigerator truck, which is how we keep all of our refrigerated items safe and well protected from any critters. So that's how our field kitchen works. We also have a lovely setup of showers and porta potties. We rent porta potties, which are clean and comfortable and well kept. They're serviced several times a week. We're all thrilled about that. For those of you who are not familiar with sun showers, and this is your first time ever coming to camp or using a sun shower, if you look to the right, all those little black bags that are laying there are sun showers that are filled with water that heat up via solar power during the day. And then you hang your own sun shower in one of those enclosures on the left for a nice hot shower at the end of the day. So that's how we operate for for our bathroom systems. In terms of meals at August Camp, we promise you will be well fed. Uh, our crew makes wonderful food, and we have a multi-course meal for both breakfast and dinner. And our crew makes us lunch sandwiches, and then you fill in what extras for your lunch, whatever from the homemade cookies that they have, and all sorts of other things. Right next to the word meals is a picture of Karen. Karen is our assistant manager, and she's on. Karen, can we unmute you, or
Yep. Hi, Gina. How are you?
there we go. Karen, good to see you. You're coming to us from Boston, right?
Yep. I am currently in Boston. I will be your assistant manager this year at August Camp for the crew side of things.
And
Nice to meet you all.
we're delighted to see you. Is there anything you'd like to say before I move on, just to welcome people, or say anything quick just about yourself, or just to say hi about anything I've said already?
Gina's doing a great job explaining things. From the crew side of things, we come and we set up all your facilities and then we cook you lots of meals. We love having you all. And if you have any questions for me, please let me know.
Thanks, Karen. And you can put questions for Karen, our assistant manager, in the chat, and she can answer them there. If you have specific dietary questions, any specific dietary needs you probably have already indicated in your camp application, we make sure all of that information gets to the crew so that they can make sure that we deal with allergies and that kind of thing. Now, because we are a field kitchen, we do our best to accommodate people's, certainly we take care of allergies, but we trust that people are going to be flexible, and you'll get all sorts of options for, we serve a hot meal at breakfast and at dinner, and you may not choose to eat everything for the meals, but we know that you'll have lots of options to be well fed. But if you do have an allergy, I'm sure that you've indicated it on your application form, and we will have that information. We'll probably also get in touch with you in advance just to make sure that we've got everything taken care of. Meals at August Camp are served family style. So we have these long tables under our dining tent, and we all gather morning and evening for a common meal. Again, you will not go away hungry. Most people hope that they are going to go to August Camp and lose weight, and the reverse happens because the food is that good. So for those of you who are new to camp, the daily routine. It hasn't changed much over all how many years has August Camp been going? 125, 135, 138 years that August Camp has been going. It's always been a place that people go to gather together, to spend time outside. And originally it was designed as a group that got together to explore. So we still do some exploring, although many more of our trails have been established already, as opposed to what they were many years ago. So what we do every day is listed here. We wake, we eat, we hike, we eat, we hike, we eat, we hike. We come back, we clean up, we eat more, and then most of the time we come for campfire. For anybody who's got the energy, we at campfire we hear about the next day's hike or the next day's hike options. So that's our day. We stay busy. Many people come and they think, oh, I'm going to bring my needlepoint or my 2,000-piece jigsaw puzzle that I'll be able to do. And they find they have no time for that because they're busy hiking and eating and having a good time. So just know that camp is a busy place. So hiking, we have a head hike leader, and we have hike leaders that do a great job of planning the hikes for us every day. I'm actually going to turn it over now to Dave. Dave Mitchell is our head hike leader, just to introduce you to him. And for those of you who know him already, to give a wave and see what Dave would like to share with us. Dave, can I turn it over to you? Janine, can you unmute him?
There we go. I'm unmuted. Like Gina said, this is a hiking camp. And so what we'll offer is every day, 6 hikes generally, 2 in each of the 3 categories of Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. Alpha hikes are the equivalent of hiking up Mount Washington or something like that. And Bravo hikes are not that strenuous or not that long or not that high. And Charlie hikes are kind of like butterfly flower walks, pretty flat, not many miles, but we try all the hikes last all day long. If a hike like a Charlie level hike is going to run only half a day or something like that, we'll try and come up with something to visit, maybe an ice cream shop or a bakery or something like that in the afternoon, because the goal is to be out away from the camp all day long. We leave the camp usually about 8 in the morning. After you finish your breakfast, you pack your pack up and fill up your water bottles and meet at a rendezvous point with your leader if you decided which hike you're going to do that day. And then off you go for the hike, and then we'll ride back late in the afternoon. Hopefully you'll have enough time to shower up and maybe have a few hors d'oeuvres if they're offered that day. And then there's dinner. And then in the evening, meet at the campfire, and people will give a little talk about the hike they've done, so that if you were interested in another hike, you can learn what it was like. And then we'll offer the plan for the hikes for the next day. And then we repeat that every evening. The only really important thing is to realize your abilities. Because if you think you're an A hiker because in 1947 you ran up Mount Washington, you're no longer that person. And so you may not be able to do an A hike. So realize your limitations and everything and choose your hikes accordingly, because the sad part would be if we take a dozen people out on a hike and one person is a C hiker and they think they're on an A hike, that kind of makes it not a happy time for the other 11 people on a hike like that. So look at your hikes good. There's a list of them on the website. It gives you the distance of the hike, the elevation gain of the hike. Might have a couple of facts like there's a stream crossing, or you're just walking through beautiful virgin forest or something like that. So look over the hiking list, and you can get an idea of what hikes are available and what hikes you would enjoy. If you like views, or if you like flowers, or if you like to see animals or something like that, the hike list can provide some of that information. There are things other than hikes that are also listed on the website. There's kayaking, bicycling. These are not always in every week, but they are in most weeks. A trip to Vancouver. And there's probably 1 or 2 other things also, but again, they're listed on the website. So, and they're only going to be, these non-hiking activities will probably be offered just once during the week. And there's an overnight hike where in that case you have to bring your tent and everything you're going to need to sleep in your tent at a remote location for one night. So those activities, like I said, there'll be one shot for each of those activities, and the rest of the time would be hiking. And one other thing that Gina said, you're busy all day. There's really, unless you're really sick or something's wrong, you are not supposed to just stay in camp for the day and lounge in a chair. Every day is an activity day, essentially. So keep that in mind also. So don't burn yourself out doing 3 A hikes in a row on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then think you're going to rest up the rest of the week. And that's about it. We have, like I said, we have our hike leaders. There's 7 hike leaders for each week. So we rotate through with, like I said, 6 activities, and one leader has 1 day off each week. So if you have a favorite hike leader, you have to coordinate with them to make sure you don't want to hike them on their day off. I can't think of anything else.
Thank you, Dave. That was awesome. I'm actually going to invite Cindy Campbell, who's in charge of the special activities, to say a word or two about those, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure.
Cindy? Is she still on?
Oh, I am on. It's I
Okay.
had to double unmute myself on my
Very
phone.
clever.
Very clever. So there is quite a range of special activities this year, and there was an email that went out weeks ago, and most of these activities are already full. There are some spaces left, so if you want to go kayaking in week 3, I believe they have some spaces, or at least a space or 2. That really sounds like a fun trip. The Victoria trip also probably has spaces because that's a ferry ride and kind of a neat trip with botanical gardens and museums and just getting to spend a day someplace new and different. Bring your passports if you are signed up for that. So the leaders who are volunteering to do the various activities, you can find them on the web. And even if you think it might be full, you could email them if you do it quickly, just because occasionally there's a waiting list and you might get lucky. There is one activity that we reserve until people get to camp, and that's the service project. And this year, weeks 3 and 4 have one of the best service projects I've heard about so far. They will be working in the National Park, Olympic National Park plant nursery, helping the botanists there with their program of propagating the plants that should be replaced when there's been wear and tear to areas of the park, and learning about that, as well as putting a little bit of labor into it. 8 to 10 people each week will get to do that activity. You can sign up and camp as soon as, one of the leaders, I believe it's Dearney in week 3 and Marianne in week 4, will be leading that trip. So it'll be announced at Campfire. Talk with them, get your name on the list. The National Park will supply what you need, although of course you're always welcome to bring your own, work gloves or whatever. They said wear closed-toed shoes. I don't think that's going to be a problem for you guys. So that's going on. Weeks 1 and 2 are going to be doing something with the land trust of the Olympic Peninsula, which is also an interesting service project. Sign up the same way. So there's a car camping trip that goes out to the coast and to the Hoh Rainforest. I believe it's, excuse me, I think it's fully subscribed at this point. There's kayaking, which may have some spaces left in week 3. There's the Victoria trip. There's a bike trip in week 4, and there's the service trip. So, but August Camp is a hiking trip. That's why people go. And there is a great hike for you every single day. You don't have to worry that if you don't do one of these other activities, there won't be a hike that you will enjoy at your level. Any questions?
Thank you, Cindy.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. And if you do have questions, campers, feel free to put them in the chat and we can address them as we go along. Every evening at campfire, related to what both Dave and Cindy mentioned, we announce the next day's hikes and remind you about upcoming activities. We also report on that day's hikes, so you can hear what other people did and start planning ahead. Hopefully we'll be able to have a campfire. If not, then we sit around the campfire and we pretend that the campfire's on and we sing just the same afterwards. There is no compulsory singing. While I would like to have that, I've been vetoed, unfortunately. So singing is optional after the hike reports and after you sign up for whatever daily activities you're interested in. But many people just enjoy coming and hanging out at the campfire. You'll see that people are sitting in folding chairs of various types. If you have your own small camp chair, we encourage you to bring it. We do have a bunch of older ones that we've acquired over the years that we keep, but there's never any complete guarantee that they're going to that there'll be enough for everybody. So many people who think it's have a particular comfort level in mind will bring in their own small camp chair. So that's how that goes. We do have there's a tradition called Follies where on the last night of camp or the night before the last night of camp, we have our own little talent show, and we definitely, use that term talent loosely. We have some of our MCs present tonight. John, I think you've been an MC for Follies, have you? And you've been a very popular MC. And I think there may be some other campers here who've taken on that role. But anybody who has a very particular talent to share, some people have juggled in the past. We have skits. We have all sorts of things coming up that people are talented, because we find that August campers ooze talent. We find that you have an extreme quantity of talent when people come. So we like to give you the opportunity to showcase that at the end of the camp week. Alrighty, let's see. So in terms of new campers often ask, what do I really need to bring to camp? So we created a categorized gear list. Things that are essential, like a sleeping bag is essential. If you come to camp without a sleeping bag, you'll be extremely cold. That will be an unpleasant experience. And then, so those are required types of things. And there are recommended things. You do not need to bring, and there are optional things. You do not need to bring an instrument, but you're welcome to bring it. We recommend that if you have a favorite chair, you bring it, but again, it's not required. So we did that because our gear list turned out to be quite extensive and we didn't want people to feel like they had to have everything. When you fly into Seattle, if you do find that you've forgotten something, we will find a way to get you to a place where you can pick it up. So we do encourage you to look at that gear list has been vetted by many campers over the years and adjusted. So you can check it out on the website, and you can also ask any other August camper that you know, or if you're a new camper, you can ask somebody who will get in touch with you to welcome you to camp if you have any specific questions for them. We do try to connect all of our new campers with one of our ambassadors. So I'll tell you about that in just a minute. Let me just move on here for a second. In terms of arriving at camp, I'm going to turn this over right now to our transportation coordinator. That's Virginia Campbell. And she's actually in this picture. And if you look at the person in front of the woman with the red backpack, that's half of Virginia's head. So I'd like to introduce you to the rest of Virginia's head and ask her to make a statement or two about arriving at camp and transportation at camp. So Virginia Campbell.
Hi there. You could annotate that. I know you know how to use that tool. Anyway, I am Virginia Campbell. I'm your transportation coordinator. And I will be the transportation coordinator for weeks 3 and 4. So I will be standing there on the ground when you arrive. Your job is to arrive at the airport between 11 and 2 on your camp Saturday. Now you've circled someone else's. So your job is to arrive between 11 and 2 at the meeting point, which will be adjacent to baggage claim 16. You can follow the signs to the dog walking area or possibly the smoking area. Last time we were there, I think in 2019. But either way, it is next to baggage claim number 16. We'll have a nice big sign there for you, and there'll be a bunch of people who look like they'll be at camp, and you'll find yourself right at home there. On that day, I will be there. I will have my phone. You will have my number. Many things happen on travel day. It's going to be okay. We've had many people with luggage that comes in late and missed flights, and what are we gonna do? Don't worry about it. We'll get you there. So, you know, your job is to A, follow the rules that say arrive before 2 p.m. And B, get yourself there. A lot of people do come in on Friday night and stay locally and then come on over to the airport in the morning. Don't come at 8 a.m. I can't let you go at 8 a.m. But when we do have van carloads full of people, we'll send you off to camp. The way that works is I assign a driver. We have actually right now about 2/3 of camp have the ability to drive, so we're really grateful for that. And I will get out the driver safety component to you shortly if you signed up to be a driver. That's really good because taking that responsibility and making sure that we share it is really, really important for driving. We are hiking. We're in a hiking camp. We're sometimes traveling on roads that may take us a little bit longer. They may be a little bit challenging. We may be someone who likes to drive in the morning. We may be someone who likes to drive after the hike. So having the ability to share that role is important. So we're very lucky to have so many drivers. But from the airport, we'll assign a driver, we'll assign a navigator, and we'll send you off to camp. And on your way there, you'll make friends with who is in your van. And believe it or not, that is like one of the things that people often reflect on is the people they traveled out to camp with for the first from the airport. Sorry, I just have to close the chat here. So you will get a reminder right before camp, which will have some more details. It'll have my phone number on it. It will have the meeting area. And you'll arrive there and we'll send you off to camp. And in terms of vans, we have 13 camper vans at camp. And we use those vans to get to and from the airport and also to and from the trailheads. We have specific rules about the vans and we treat them respectfully so that we can utilize them safely. We have plenty of drivers. And yeah, there's a dirty van at one of the enterprise locations. So traveling in the vans, we'll go over all of those pieces. There's nothing that, you know, you really need to concern yourself with before camp. So the most important things are you'll know whether or not you're a driver before you come to camp. You'll hear from me. I will have all your arrival information, so I'll know to look for you. We will not leave anyone at the airport. And I look forward to getting everybody to camp on their arrival day.
Thanks, Virginia.
Sure thing.
And those of you who have questions about transportation, two things, you can put your comments in the chat. And again, please check the website. That information, all of Virginia's contact information will be there, and you can find other answers to transportation questions there. All righty, so let's see if I can, oops, sorry. So moving along to health and safety. Do we have Mary here with us tonight? Okay, I can't see anybody who's here. So I'm just gonna give a brief chat about health and safety. That is one of our biggest priorities ever since we've had the COVID issues. You know, I'm sure that everyone is on the same page with this. We just want to be particularly concerned and aware of health issues. We've always been able to deal with any kind of health issues that arise at August Camp. Since I'm the director and I deal with all camper issues, if you have any health concern when you get there, anything that's arisen at the last minute, I'll ask you to please tell me. Please be aware of other campers, and if you feel that you've got something coming on, please do your best to mitigate any kind of symptoms that you have. We do try to use COVID safe practices to the degree that we can. COVID is still a real thing for us, and you know, in the small group that August Camp is, it can spread quickly. We're lucky that we don't have big outbreaks. So, but safety and health are our priorities. And we'll give all sorts of reminders when we get there. We will have masks available. And we definitely encourage people to wear masks in the vans, especially when they're coming through the airport and after the airport experience, because that's when a lot of exposure does occur. So please be aware of that. And we're a community when we get out there, so we like to share many things, but not our germs if we can. We have over the years have had, you know, people have had minor accidents, that kind of thing. We always have access to health facilities, and we'll be able to help you deal with things. We do want to say that if you do come down with something that is communicable, we will help you get to a hotel or some kind of place that you'll feel comfortable where you can recover. But if you're very ill, we may, you know, encourage you and find ways to help you to get to the airport or to get to a hotel that you can stay for until you're able to be healthy again. We encourage everyone to get travel insurance. I definitely get it for myself for a variety of reasons. But, you know, if you have some kind of last minute emergency, if something occurs, it's just helpful to have it. We don't recommend a particular carrier, but we do encourage everyone to get travel insurance. It just makes sense these days. These are just some thoughts before you come to camp. Do know that we have had a lot of health professionals take a look at our health protocols and to generate them to make sure that we can keep everybody as healthy as possible. Our crew is particularly, they have all sorts of health and hygiene training, and they have to go through food safety training before they come to camp. We encourage you to arrive in good health. And as I think Dave said this, did you say don't plan to come and get in shape at camp, but it's better to come to camp in shape if you can do that, so that you're ready to hit the trails running and you don't have to feel any particular discomfort. We do, again, make masks available. I know none of us would wish we had to wear them, but we do encourage you to wear them anytime you're in an enclosed location. We'll have lots of materials there available so that we can promote good hand washing throughout camp. This is just a photo of some campers and, you know, relaxing around camp. And, you know, some old timers, they have the typical look of campers, either slightly confused or extremely happy, a little bit exhausted too. And this is the final thing that we say to campers as they get ready to depart. We always try to remind you when you're in session 3 and 4 that we don't want you to forget to flush when you get back home, because you'll have spent some time out in the woods, and we just love being relaxed. But there, you do have to go back to society when you leave us, and it's a sad thing, but it is the reality. I don't think I forgot anything major, and I'm going to open it up to questions. I'm going to end our slideshow here and open it up to questions so that people can ask and answer or share thoughts, especially the new folks who've never been to camp before, who may have been a little bit overwhelmed or very excited. Is there anything we can share with you at this juncture, or anything that's come up in the chat that people have answered that they feel is worthy repeating for everybody? So if you want to raise your hand, either physically or virtually, we can call on people.
There are a lot of questions in the chat about where to stay the night before. We don't endorse a particular hotel to stay in, and honestly, they're ever changing. And each year, August Camp is at a new location for us. But I do think that, you know, if you were to put on Facebook, or even to chat with a few of the other people in the group, to see if there's something that's local that people are using to stay at. I mean, I think a hotel with a shuttle to the airport, that's going to be, you know, that's going to be your best bet. And then you can get up at your leisure and come on over to the airport. But there are a variety of airport hotels locally.
I know
So
there's a Red Roof Inn. I know there's a lot of small ones, Comfort Inn, because SeaTac is such a large airport and international, so they do have many, many different options.
And I would just note, as someone who's lived in Seattle before, it's not near downtown. So it's better to stay out near the airport than to have to schlep all your stuff downtown and back. Plus, a lot cheaper.
Thank you, Paul. And Paul is a experienced August camper. So he would know, not just from his professional experience and his location, his current location, but also from coming and going. What other questions do people have that that you haven't put in the chat, or that we haven't answered in the chat? Charging iPhones. Thank you for bringing that. The best, you're going to have to rely on the vans when we're in transit. This camp that we have, every year camp is slightly different. Sometimes we have access to electricity, sometimes we don't. This year we won't in camp. However, we will have a generator for people who need their CPAP machines for sleeping issues. So they'll be for emergencies only, though, and for CPAP machines, that's what the generator will be for. So we don't anticipate having a charging station at this summer's camp. So a few campers have been talking about whether they can get a solar charger of some sort. I don't know. I can't speak to that about how effective any of them are at the moment. They didn't used to be very effective, but I'm sure that the technology has changed since I looked at it. There's definitely are power banks that you can get in advance if you really want to go. If you want to go that route, I have a couple of those that can hold a charge for a long time. But you can definitely count on charging in the vans. Please bring your own adapter, because the vans may have a variety of different ports. Some of them have the USBs, some of them have the USB-Cs. So bring whatever variety of cords that you think you might need and plan on charging your electronics in the vehicles unless you've got a CPAP. If you've got a CPAP, you'll see me right away and I'll connect you with the power source in that way. What other questions do we have? Again, raise hands and if I'm missing anybody's raised hand, please, another person. Yes.
I'm Diane. I'm actually in group 1, but I wasn't available last night and I came in late today because I worked today. My question is, I know there's a sleeping bag, there's a cot cushion. How do we, I can't think of how you get through airport with all this in the luggage and everything. Do you divide it in 2 things? What have you seen people do?
Many people bring 2 pieces of luggage. A lot of people will bring one thing that rolls. And you don't have to, you can just bring one large piece of checked luggage and then your day pack. And cram things in your day pack. But most people can get a sleeping bag, a sleeping pad, and most of us wear our boots on the plane to save that. Shove everything that's soft into your water bottles. If you're not used to doing that. But many people will bring some kind of a large suitcase / rolling duffel and then their day pack.
Okay.
Sure thing. And welcome. Glad you're here, whether you're weeks 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Thank you.
Glad you're here.
Thank you.
Other questions? And if I don't see your hand and there's a silence, just shout right on out.
Hello. Yeah, I want to know if I have camera or the charge, how can I have charge or do I?
Yes, in the vans. You can charge those things in the vans. Bring your own charging cables and you can definitely do that.
Okay, thanks.
Sure. Debbie?
And also,
Oh.
sorry. Also, can I carry my Joe DJI Joe the camera?
Can you?
It's Joe. You know Joe is 5 like the air camera.
An air? Oh, you mean
Joe DJI.
A drone, I believe.
Joe,
drone.
yeah.
We usually don't. We ask people not to bring them for privacy issues in and around camp, and so I would ask. Actually, I think we would ask you not to bring that or not to use it when you're at camp.
Yeah, I'm not use at camp because maybe at the evening I will out of the area because I want to I make a photo around the mountain. It's not because the Joe can fly far away.
You know what? Let me check into that and we'll kind of post something because I believe in the past we have found that at some of the trailheads, there have been signs specifically having requesting that people do not or prohibiting the use of drones. Cindy, I don't know if you can speak to that at all. I know that they're controversial, but I think that we have at various points seen that the local forests are asking us not to use them. So I can't give you a solid answer on that, but we'll try to find some information on that. All right, does that make sense?
Okay, thanks.
We'll look into it for you.
We'll look into it. Yeah. Debbie, how about you? You had a question?
Hi, thanks. Newbie here and not an experienced camper. And but I know from other travels, staying in group settings that earplugs are good. And then when I heard the generator, of course, does anybody have experience with good earplugs? Because, most of them work off Bluetooth and we may not have signal and blah, blah, blah. The noise canceling ones. So I just wonder if anybody has good experience with oh, with earplugs and can, maybe put it in the chat or I'll take notes.
Yeah, good point. Anybody who's got good recommendations for earplugs, please do put them in the chat. Do we have other questions? I don't see hands up, but feel free to call out.
Hello. It's Diane from Group 1 or
Hi, Diane.
Camper 1. Hi. So I checked into some insurances today and I spoke with 2 or 3 and I asked them one of the questions that you had written up, that if you as a camp cancel, they're not going to cover anything. And does that ever happen? And do you refund the money? Like if, for example, and God forbid that, there's a fire up in Canada and it drifts all the smoke into the camp area. What is the policy on that? Because the insurance will not cover it if the camp group cancels.
I'm going to look into that one for you. I know we have something in our policy. I think what we do is we refund everything except for the costs that have already been expended by camp.
Okay.
So, and there's a name for it. It's the force majeure, I think, is the name of it. So if you would look back in your, on the website, definitely, I can't quote it at the moment,
Right.
but we basically will refund whatever expenses that we haven't already expended.
Okay.
When we set up camp, there are certain things, certain fixed costs that we can't cancel. Like last summer, we were able to, what we had to cancel camp in this middle of the middle of the session. We were able to have camp for weeks 1 and 2, but not weeks 3 and 4. And there are certain costs that have already been we've been committed to. So we will refund everything except for those costs that we can't recoup that have already been laid out. But that's all explained. I believe it's called force majeure. And so take a look at that on our website, and it's explained kind of thoroughly. I don't want to misquote it.
Thank you.
Excuse me. I was one of the people who got canceled last year, and I do have to say that we got refunded everything. I mean, I was group 4. I was in week 4, so that may be something that AMC can't afford to do every time. Now that that's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised and grateful.
That was a one-time thing because we've never had to deal with that before. And we thought that that was the fair thing to do, but that did deplete our reserves almost completely.
Wow.
Yeah. So we don't have a lot. We couldn't do it again. So we had to implement a different plan. So we now have this alternate, this is Plan B, and it enables us to remain solvent, and to honor our obligations that we can't recoup.
Janine did post the cancellation link in the chat. So if anybody wants to review that, and the only costs we don't return to campers are the ones that we have already spent or we can't recoup. But there is a link in the chat.
Okay. And there's
There's
lots of
there's
information.
a hand up, Joanne Sharon.
Oh, Joanne, go ahead. Thanks. Joanne?
I lowered her hand. Is she still there?
Oh, somebody else is waving.
Hi, Faye. All right. If Joanne isn't around, Faye, what can we do for you? You're muted, Faye.
No, I was just gonna say for folks that there is a travel insurance company listed on August Camp website as one of the companies, Roam Right, that the AMC has used before. The other thing that was really helpful to me last year, I was one of the other people who got canceled, is my plane flights were, I just paid a little more, so I had the no change fees. So it was like really, really easy. I mean, I'm traveling this year using, you know, what the money that was refunded to me, by the various, in the plane carriers last year.
Just to clarify, August Camp is not endorsing any travel insurance companies. We've removed Roam Right from the website.
Yeah.
I just looked.
Um,
Yeah, it's an old information.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I, okay. I just
if you
pulled up.
find it, can you send that to me?
25.
Because we did remove it from the website because,
Yeah,
just,
if you give me your email, because I'm actually looking at it right now.
yeah,
Yeah.
hiker@augustcamp.org.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe it's tucked in somewhere and we missed it, but we did make an effort to remove that. We didn't want to endorse any particular agency.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I just had a quick question about the CPAP machine because I'm a first time and I'm envisioning this rustic camping experience in Olympic National Park with the AMC, and there's going to be a generator running all night to power someone's CPAP machine. Am I hearing that right?
No, there's actually a generator running to power our refrigerator truck to keep our food cold. But there is a smaller generator that runs to recharge batteries.
And it doesn't run all night, I don't think. I think
No.
during the day when most campers are out. Yeah. So we're aiming for the rustic experience.
Yeah.
You will periodically hear the refrigerator truck because it cycles on and off, but the ones that we've been able to get in the recent past have been of the quieter ilk. So, we do what we can, Chad. I
There we
think
go.
we're all on the same page. We all are looking for a similar experience. And that is why we ask all people who are making
Thank you.
phone calls to do that out in the phone booth, which is like the parking lot, which will be as far away from the tents as you can get. Because we do want to promote that. Thanks for bringing that up. Please describe the base camp this year. I'm not sure. So if you take a look at the pictures that we have, I believe it's a forested area. It's a relatively forested area from the pictures that I've seen. But it will be, every year it's slightly different. So I can't be super specific about it. Except that if you look behind me, that's more or less what things will look like when where we're laid out. But we will post pictures as we get them about how things look. If you have a specific concern about the layout of camp, the base camp, let us know if it's about a concern, so that we can try to get back to you on that. As far as I know, there is no cell phone connectivity specifically at camp at the moment. We will have satellite phones for emergencies, and the crew will be able to, I believe, Karen, do you know about this? Will you be able to go into whatever the town is and collect emergency, where you've got access to cell service and collect emergency contacts?
Yeah, you will be able to drive probably 10 to 15 minutes and be able to access cell service.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Yep, we do have a large quantity of tarps. So it's unlikely that you'll need to bring one unless you're very particular and you want a very specific type or you want it to be pristine. We do have a lot of used tarps, and you're welcome to take them and put them down as a floor for your tent. Otherwise, it's a grass or, dirt floor. There are still, there's people are asking, and questions in the chat and they're being answered. Are there other people who have questions? Raise a hand, or virtually or digitally, and we'll try to address them.
So can I ask, you say the gate's details will be sent out. I didn't see the email send out the details of where we should be. Where we should take some gates, what kind of gates we need to take. I didn't see the email.
What
You
kind
say
of
you already sent out the email?
about the
Or
gear?
the details of the stuff we need to take.
The gear. The
Yeah.
gear.
Yeah.
It's all on the website.
Oh, we need to go to website?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Feel free to stay on and continue to log questions in the chat and we'll answer them. You don't have to stay on if you don't want to. We'll stay on until all questions are answered. Or if people want to stay on and chat, you're welcome to do that. But for those of you who do want to sign off, we're glad that you've been able to come. We hope we've been able to answer your questions. If you are a new camper, somebody should be getting in touch with you. I mentioned before that we have what are called ambassadors. So some of the volunteers reach out. They're part of our ambassadors. They will reach out to all new campers to see if you have any specific questions, to welcome you, so that you have a someone familiar, or at least someone that you can connect with when you come to camp. If you want to, come with somebody, if you don't want to come with a complete blank slate. So someone will be reaching out to you in the not too distant future if they haven't already. So just want you to know that that will happen. And if no one reaches out to you, please feel free to reach out to us in case something slips through the cracks, because sometimes it does. It's unintentional if that is the case.
Question in the chat about the bug situation. Does anyone know what that's like?
Does anybody have any information about that? I don't have anything. We don't usually have a bad situation out when we haven't had rough situations with bugs in the recent past. Now this will be in a forested area, so it's possible, but we always tell people to come prepared just in case. We haven't had big tick problems, but sometimes there are biting flies, particularly around dusk, or biting insects, mosquitoes, that kind of thing.
Sometimes if we know about the insects closer to camp, we'll send a email blast and let people know to pack, whether it's some extra netting or something like that. If we know, when we know, we'll let you know.
Awesome. Thank you.
Gina, did you respond to the comment about tarps?
I did.
About the rental fee. Do you guys charge the rental fee?
Oh, no, we don't charge a fee. We
Or
encourage
encourage the fee.
we encourage people to leave something in the tip jar.
Okay, yeah.
So, it's not required, but if we encourage people to leave like a $5 tip if they, for the crew, if you borrow a tarp, if you use a tarp, but we're not going to chase anybody down. Everything we do at camp is on the honor system. So, there was a question about what's the time frame in which the ambassadors will reach out, because you don't know because people don't pick up phones for unrecognized numbers. They will leave a phone message, and we also have people's email contacts. So they will probably also attempt to reach you by email. Debbie?
Hi. Oh, gosh. Oh, I realized that so our ambassadors, mine has gotten in touch with me by email. Are they from our same week? I'm in week 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but this raised, the thought to me is, how do we learn from campers from week 1 and 2? Is there any way to connect us? I know you're on 3 and 4, but clearly you download stuff from the week 1 and 2 staff, right?
You mean like when we're at camp, how do we have learned from what they experienced?
Right, and especially, with bugs or weather conditions or, little things that, you learn only through the hard way,
Yeah,
Well, I was just going to say that the crew arrives a full week before we do, before any campers do. So when they go out there, they get the lay of the land. And if there's anything that they feel that we should know, then they alert our people who are in charge of communication, which is frequently Janine Roncalli, who's online here. And then she will send an email blast to everybody. If we acquire new information as camp progresses, in the middle of the first week, in the beginning of the second week, we do the same. We send out email blasts, and we also try to post things on the web page. So we do our best to make sure that the information that we do get is disseminated, and anything that we do get from the crew when they get out there for setup week, or from the campers who have been there in any prior weeks, we push out to incoming campers. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, stuff like, do you need, insect repellent, or are the cicada broods hatching at a weird time or
Yeah, we
something like
do.
that? Yeah,
Yeah, we absolutely do.
thank you.
Sure. Yeah. It's a treat to see everybody's faces. Lots of people are signing off. Some people came who were going to second week, but they came so that they could see familiar faces. It's always nice to see those folks. Denise, what can we do for you?
You're muted, I think.
Hit your space bar and then we can hear you.
That's Becky. We're going to keep you on the tech team here.
And Becky is hired.
Denise, if you just hold your space bar down while you're talking, we can all hear.
Just to let you know, Becky will be great at fall leaf.
Karen, hush up.
Thanks, Jill. Glad you were here. Thanks, Barry, Fayed, everybody. Denise, we still can't hear you. I don't know. Are you struggling? Is there some way we can do you want to put something in the chat and we can respond to it if you, because sometimes it is tricky to figure these things out.
You want me to stop the recording?
Sounds like a good idea. Why don't you stop the recording and we'll capture the chat?